Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today is day 3 of the consistency series, and I just got done trading, and it turned out to be a good day. So I'm just gonna run you guys through the day, through the result. So today we closed with 561, which wasn't bad, but I did trade a little bit more than I was supposed to. Majority of it just being indecisive, being less confident in my execution, and not too sure because I didn't want to give too much. I ended up getting chopped around a little bit before I was able to find the trade that I wanted. Avoided tilt. As you can see, I took around 12 trades and 2 winning and then 10 losing, and the 2 winnings are what kind of like covered everything and then get me out of the drawdown and close me out on profit. On a day-to-day basis, I wouldn't want to execute like this. So today was NFP, and at 8:30 right here, I was just, I didn't trade the pre 9:30 session because of NFP, so I just checked the market, recorded the move that happened. So as you can see here, I'm gonna say, that was like 4 minutes before NFP, then 30 seconds there, the NFP just come, and you can see the aggressive liquidities that they come in the market. And just look at this, it's like the market kind of glitch, it sped up, take out this buy side, and then it went into this daily new day opening gap and just traded around here. Long story short, this turned out to just be a manipulation. So I want you to pay attention to this level here that I noted, the weak cross-sector encroachment. This is something that price will refer to later on, even though it traded through it here. That was the end of the session. I went back, tried to sleep a little bit, really did not sleep, then come back around, I think after 9:30 to see what the market is doing. So after 9:30 opens, it dropped into a 15-minute fair value gap and was trading around that weak consequent encroachment. So initially, I'm looking at NFPs shifting that structure. We're into a daily fair value gap. So I was initially long. I wanted to go long from the fair value gap, aiming from here and the daily volume balance, or the PM session high, which I pointed at here, the 19,042. And that turned out to not be the sequence that the market wanted, and it wanted just to use NFP as manipulation. So right around here, I looked at that 5-minute fair value gap, and we kind of just traded around it, did not close outside of it, and I thought that was a good opportunity when I would look here on 5 minute to go long, because we did not close below the 5-minute fair value gap. So I decided to go long. That was my first trade, but I quickly realized that that was a wrong trade. So I got my entry around here because we're still in that fair value gap, and it quickly moved in my favor, right? It moved in my favor. However, that 5-minute closes and created a new 5-minute fair value gap. Ideally, because I was long and I was aiming for that level, I wanted to see either an aggressive reaction through this fair value gap and continue higher and not retrace at all. But it did not do that. It come back into this small fair value gap here. I'm like, okay, maybe it might hold. And it did use the fair value gap, went back, test that fair value gap once again, but did not go through it. So here I closed the trade, and I said I did not like how it reacted to this fair value gap, so I'm just gonna wait until 10 to see if I can have a better setup. However, I got a little bit of FOMO here. as it was meandering around this level, thinking that it may continue to go long, but it was just trying to fade people and then go higher. So I take a couple more entry. No, I did not, but I was kind of like hoping I could find some entry. So I realized then I did not find anything until 10. Then we had I pointed out the 930 fair value gap, and I pointed out how this candle refer back to that fair value gaps that I was wanting to trade in the first place, and we refer to it as an inversion fair value gap. And if we go before even any of that happened, I was pointing out to this relative equal low to see, because once this failed, I'm looking at this and I'm expecting it to displace down here. It did not give me that entry as easy as I wanted it to be. So initially I wanted it to just trade, leave the half of this fair value gap open, and then trade lower. But what I did not take into account is that it's 10, and I should be aiming for the fair value gap at 10, not anything else. So I did not take that into account. So I initially entered, but I think one of the things too is like going on a winning streak and having some wins and getting some profit will make you a little bit defensive to risk. So initially I put my risk here, which is about $200 risk, but I was not confident in the risk that I put, meaning I was a little bit undecisive of should I just risk the 200 on a days that is NFP, and we're already at the low here, and it's kind of doesn't want to take this low, and then it's consolidating around it. Should I risk that? So I was undecisive, so I took a trade, cut it short, did not just let the trade and let my stop do its job. So I cut the trade short. If you look here, I was referring to this last up close candle. That was where my stop was supposed to be. It did not take my stop at all, but I just kept getting in and out, which as you can see here, there's this sequence between me entering into that same fair value gap. It was the same fair value gap that delivered, that gave me where I wanted. It was the same target price that I wanted, right? But I just couldn't wait. I think at one point, so here you can see my target is the same target that it got to. The fair value gap is the same thing, but I kept getting chopped and undecisive about my risk. So at this point, I already breached my daily loss limit, which is not my daily loss limit, but my session loss limit, which is $200 per session. And in that session, I already went over it. So I was getting indecisive and was nearing tilt, because it will move in my favor a little bit. I will see some profit, then we'll come right back and just chopped around. So here it chops again. The thing that I did not pay attention to is that this is 10. We are in a very bearish market. You use this fair value gap drop, refer to the inversion fair value gap drop, refer to the last down candle, not the breaker, before NFP, before 930 dropped, and he has a sell side here. He has all of these levels I may want to refer to. So basically what it did, it trade higher, take out the buy side here, shift lower, shifting structure, fair value gap, ICT 2022 model, and then it's going to attack the low. But because I was thinking too much on PNL and risk and did not do a good job managing my risk while being here, not just placing my stop above this high and waiting for it to drop, being impatient and wanting just to give it to me really quick and not risking the money, I ended up getting chopped a couple of times. I was in drawdown, then I saw how he's still respecting the fair value gap. Then I entered once again, placed my stop right above here, wanting to see this candle, this 1 minute candle, to be very aggressive, drop this place here, and then once they do that, in my head I'll turn my stop and then I will just hold the trade, which is what I did. So the candle dropped right here, this place below, and I dropped my stop, and I was aiming for those daily those new day opening gap, and then new week opening gap. I did not hold until the new week opening gap, but I made sure to hold the new day opening gap. So as you can see here, I dropped my stuff above this by the fair value gap. I wanted it to be a breakaway gap because there's no need for it to go back there. I thought it might retrace from here, like a minor retracement to get back there, but it did not, so I still hold. And it displaced right below the low of the new day opening gap, and then I decided just to close everything. I'm not gonna wait for it to get to the new week opening gap. So once it displaced down there, I got my profit. It has been a little bit of a stressful morning because I almost near tilt, but because I was trading micros, that really helped for me to not tilt. So I ended up getting back everything that I lost, and then plus a little bit of profit. So it just quickly displaced right down there and then closed me out. Yeah, right there, it closed me out, and it retraced a little bit. I think all the way up to here. I decided to close the last two, and as you can see here, it referred back to the new day opening gap once again, and then completely displaced into the new week opening gap low, which is the level that I initially wanted. As you can see, it's just a straight up displacement. It did not stop. It touched the high and then referred back, use it as a resistance, displace right through, does not stop, just right through, close below, which conclude this week